We're back to the Neil Haley Show and also the Media Giant Effect and simulcasting with the Love Is podcast. Kim, how are you? Kim Sorrell, author of Love Is. Kim, I know you're excited and we just keep going. We don't stop till 2023 and there's still some time left. How are you, Kim?
I'm doing great, Neil. I hope that you are too. So excited for the holidays. This is great timing. And I'm so excited about our guest.
All right, so who's our guest today?
Brandon McPhee, who is a rising star in Scotland and all of Great Britain. His music has been heard in other countries as well, Australia. And Brandon, you started playing at such a young age, playing the accordion. Your grandpa, I believe, taught you, and then started singing, and you've been in a band, and now you've released this new album, My Country, and it just sounds like everything is falling into place for you. How are you, Brandon? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me on your show. It's a real honor, and greetings from Scotland. And thanks for all the kind words. It's much appreciated and just so good to be here. Music is my life. I just love every part of it.
Well, so you love every part of it. How did that happen?
Well, it all started when I was 10 years old and my granddad played the accordion in the house. And one day said to me, would you like a shot of the accordion? And I remember watching him and always thinking it was such a unique instrument. And he taught me my very first tune on it, which is still one of my favorites to this day. It's called The Dark Island. And that's the moment I knew that music is what I wanted to do with my life. And every day since that very moment, I've been working towards full-time entertainment. The singing came a lot later. I was around 17 and it almost happened by accident. So I was recording in the studio and one of the band members said to me, Robert Cameron is his name, he also manages my career, and said to you, why don't you start singing? And at that time, that sounded such a crazy idea. And I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And I'm glad I did, because all these years later, the show that we put together live on stage is a mixture of accordion and a mixture of singing. And it's two things I love.
Well, I can tell you that the whole world is grateful to your agent, the man representing you, the man that told you to sing, because your voice is so beautiful and warm. You remind me of Elvis, one of my favorite all time. I don't know if you ever hear that, but you're just so smooth and your tone is just so beautiful. And you didn't know that you could sing before then? You didn't know you had a great voice?
Oh, thank you very much for that. Elvis is actually one of my favorites. And singing was never something that I ever thought about doing. And I'm just so glad I did, because I took vocal tuition at the age of 17 for around 2 years. And this helped me get a real grasp on how to use the voice, how to stretch into different octaves of music, into some of the lower tones and the high tones. And Johnny Cash would be another favorite of mine, Don Williams, some of the greats in country music. And certainly these guys have helped shape what I would love to be someday. I'd love to just keep going with music and hope one day I could get my voice something like theirs.
So in that process, so is your music still involves the accordion? That's a different way of it's a country type of style of music, correct? And adding the accordion, and that's a little different niche, right, than other people that usually do music, right?
Well, that's correct. Well, the kind of accordion I play is a little bit different to your ordinary accordion, because an accordion that people would associate as accordion would have a piano on, you could call it a piano or keyboard on the side, and that is called a piano accordion. And it would be the same note out and in as you play it. But the kind of accordion I play is a unique system that was devised by Sir Jimmy Shand, who was one of the most famous accordion players in Scottish history and the history of accordion players worldwide. And it is basically two notes for one button. So it's out and in. So it's a push-pull system that I play, and certainly that's how I started off, with complete Scottish traditional music. But as the years have gone on and the more concerts that we do, I've incorporated the singing and accordion. So there'll be a lot of singing tracks, there'll be some instrumentals, and then you put them both together and it's great fun. And the feedback we get afterwards is always so good to hear. I'm delighted that people enjoy it because that's the main thing for me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you're so good at it. And you've won some of the biggest awards out there, right? Playing.
Well, my very first competition, it's a funny story how that started as well, because I was 10 and my school at the time was approaching everyone who was into music to enter the local competitions that was in a place called Caithness, where I live in the far north of Scotland. And I entered it thinking, didn't really know how it was going to go, and I won. And that was around about 6 months after I started to play. So this really got me going, and I wanted to go even more into the competition circuit. And one that I always wanted to win was the All Scotland Senior Championship. But of course, you had to work your way up to that title. So you had to take part in all the junior categories as well, which I was delighted to win. And eventually in 2014, I won the All Scotland Senior Championships. And when the adjudicators called out my name for first place, it's a memory I'll never forget. I was just so pleased and really delighted to bring back the trophy to my hometown here in Caithness.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So that's just fantastic. So your new album, tell us again about the new album, where people can get it.
Well, my new album consists of all songs this time. I've recorded a few different country albums in the past that featured accordion as well, but this one is mostly all singing, and it's all songs that would go down really well part of the live performance. And there's a couple of originals on there as well. One of them I wrote myself. It's called Let's Start Again, and I wrote it during lockdown with how I see the world today. And I thought, well, let's start again. So it's got 13 tracks of country music, and it's available from my website, which is www.brandonmcphee.com. You can get it on Pan Records, which is the record label, which is www.panrecords.co.uk, as well as all your local stores here in Scotland.
So Brandon, is it your music starting to branch out to the United States more, or like doing a US interview like you got the opportunity today? How is it starting to go? And it's definitely a country music style. So how are you trying to break into the US?
Well, I certainly love everything to do with the United States. I've always had something about America. I just think it's incredible. And well, I was very lucky to have one of my songs. It was a song that I recorded along with Foster and Allen, and it was written by Robert Robertson and Angus McPhee here in Scotland, and it was called Walking on the Waves. And we actually had it promoted over in America, and it was played on what was Heartland TV at that time, which went across millions of households. And then there was Style City Presents, which was another station in America, which was on there as well. And I know there was another one called Ditty TV, and the track was played there. We have a promotion company in Canada, and it's called Hillcrest, and they are a radio promotion company that put out radio singles throughout the world. And we get a lot of airplay via some of the radio stations in America already. And just delighted with the response that we've had via the track on some of the stations and the radio as well. And social media can be a good part of that too, because we have a lot of people saying, you have to come over to America, you have to come over to Canada. And that goes for Australia and New Zealand as well, which is going right to the opposite. And this is where social media is an amazing thing.
Absolutely. Now, Kim wrote a book. Kim, tell about your book and ask Brandon a question. Sure.
Yeah. So Brandon, I decided that I was going to figure out the true meaning of love, something that I thought nobody has ever done before. And so I dedicated a year to figuring it out. And most of the time I was in Haiti. Crazy things happened. I was chased by a motorcycle gang. Just a bunch of stuff happened. And but I found out some things about love that I never knew before, and things that really changed my life, and I think would change anybody's, would rock the world. And when I listen to you sing from your heart. you can just tell that you're feeling the song. You're not just singing the song. And there's got to be love involved in that. So how is it? How do you make that happen? What is that for you?
I think it helps when you love the music, when you really love the kind of music that you do, you love the songs. You're not going to sing a song if you don't like it. You're not going to play a tune if you don't like it, which means you can't put your heart into the song. And something as a musician that I've found as the years have gone on is it's not just about singing a song. There's a lot more to singing a song. And if you listen to some of the greats, your Elvis, your Johnny Cash, they don't just sing songs, they sing from the heart, they sing from the soul. And that's something that if you listen, and there's millions all around the world that would agree, billions as well, that they sing from the heart and you can hear it in their music. And that's what I try to do as well, because I feel the music in my heart. I feel the love for the music. I feel the love coming from the audience and the atmosphere in a room with a concert. And certainly during lockdown, that was all gone because it was all virtual. But now we're back out again and we're playing live music and we're meeting people. And it's just one of the best feelings in the world. So that's certainly my summing up of it all.
And what is your goal as a musician? Where do you want to go?
I'd love to tour the world. I'd love to tour America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, just everywhere and anywhere that would take my music. And we'd love to just share as much of that as possible. And certainly I will work every day of my life trying to make that happen.
All right, Brandon, best place to go again?
The best place to go for all my website details would be www.brandonmcphee.com.
Excellent, Brandon. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. That was the Love is Celebrity segment, guys. Take care.